9, 8.
You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey everyone! Oh my God, that's a little different. Hey everyone, you are watching the Geek Chat on The Experience. I am Rich, the Comic Beardy.
I am Desmond, aka Black Beardy or Baby Beardy. Nice,
Baby Beardy. It's slowly growing.
Slowly, but I'm probably gonna trim it off because this beard needs to get a job.
Oh, that's too bad. So you are watching us on The Experience. Be sure to like and subscribe. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, which we're doing Instagram Live tonight, Des. That's pretty cool.
I know.
So hello to all you Instagrammers.
Hi, Instagram people.
We are on Twitch, TikTok, and be sure to like the Geek Chat on Facebook, as well as go to Comic Shopping Experience, sign up on the mailing list, and see what is on The Experience. Every day, there's something new and live.
Yes.
Oh, hello, Skunk Snot, and hello, Paul.
Yes, and we have a new member, Tom McDonald. Thank you so much for joining us. And please don't forget to let your friends know. Go grab them. Tell them, come, sit down, listen to this. Even if it's on an old, CB radio. Tell them there's geeks and they talk about comics.
CB radio? Really?
Hey, you're old enough.
So my dad actually does that. I don't think he calls it that, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's ham radio.
Ham radio, yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend, who did it for a long time too. I have a whole bunch of ham radio stuff, so it's pretty crazy. But yeah, definitely tell your friends, bring them in. Feel free to comment down below if anything sparks your interest and you want to communicate with us. Please do. This is a live show, and we love talking with folks who are listening. So please don't be shy. I know people like to lurk. But, feel free to jump out of the shadows and scare the crap out of us. We love it.
Wow. Okay. We got a full show for you. We got a bunch of new number ones. We only have one gang war this week. Unfortunately, Marvel...
Should have came out last week.
Yeah, Marvel's publishing schedule is a little bananas right now with things coming out when they should.
Yep.
So one gang war, and then we're doing two kind of X books for our last segment, X. Wow. We got some
and I'm
stuff.
glad that you told me to. I'm glad. It's weird. I'm glad that you told me to read X-Force because X-Force has been hit or miss for me lately, but these two issues, I can't wait to talk about them.
All right. So first up is our TV movies, and Des is watching every single DC Universe animated movie in order.
Can you believe that?
And this week is Wonder Woman.
Yes. So it's kind of a discrepancy on when it was released. Some say 2008, some say 2009. I was going to go 2008 because that was the one that I saw prior. But yes, I have been watching them all. This is the fourth one that has been out, and is Wonder Woman. And it is, out of the four that I have seen so far, I would have to say that this one is probably the best. I think that it had the most cohesive story, meaning that it was a great introduction to Wonder Woman. And I would have really have liked to have seen this get like a trilogy treatment or something, because it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was directed by Lauren Montgomery, with a screenplay by Michael Jelenic.
We apologize to anyone that we butcher their names.
Sorry. Story was by Gail Simone and Michael Jelenic. and it was based on Wonder Woman's Gods and Mortals by George Perez, Greg Potter, and Lin Win. So I didn't realize that, going into it, that
No,
it
I
was
didn't
so
either.
heavily. What was that? You neither?
I didn't either.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Like, I got it a little bit from just watching it. I was like, oh, this is a really familiar territory. It's very, very steeped in Greek mythology. Ares is the main villain of the piece, and out of all of them, I think this one moved the fastest. It had the best characterizations. I thought even the you know it's weird though, because you would watch this and some people would call it quote unquote woke, but I don't think it is, because Wonder Woman is coming from this place of not having any males, or not having any recollection of males in general. And so all she's been taught is that males are evil and blah blah blah. And then she goes to man's world and she's very prejudiced about it, and it comes out, and then even Steve is like, hey, Steve calls her out on it. So it's just really interesting how her portrayal was so, like, it was so nuanced in an animated movie, and it made a lot of sense. And for only it being 75 minutes, or 73 minutes, I think it really stuck the landing. You got just enough. And the other Amazon who portrayed the other Amazons and then released Hades so he could go off and do his own thing. The reason why she did it was because even though they lived in a paradise, they're still women and they still wanted love and stuff like.
Have urges.
Yeah, and I thought, that's real, and I was like, I don't know, it's just, this was the most adult out of all of them as well. Like, there was actual bloodshed, and people died, and there was a lot of dismemberments. I was like, wow, like a lot of beheadings. So I was like, yeah. So she does not shy away from being a very strong, female force in this. So I really like this depiction of Wonder Woman. I really wished that we got more, and I really hope that the quality of the animation and the story writing and all this, and the voice acting. You had Kerry Russell as Wonder Woman, Nathan Fillion as Steve Trevor, Alfred Molina, Rosario Dawson. Alfred Molina was
Bacchus?
what was that?
What was Bacchus?
No, he was Hades.
Oh, he was Hades.
Yeah,
All right.
Hades. And Oliver Platt was Ares. Rosario Dawson, just Virginia Madsen was Hippolyta. Just a fantastic voice cast as well. Just everything about the movie was really, really, really good. Yeah, the cast was really, really good. And if you have not seen it, it is on Max. So definitely treat yourself to 73 minutes of a really strong animated DC movie. I really hope, hello, Space Force Gaming. Well,
Hey,
I really hope that I just really hope that this continues. Like, I really do, because the next one that I'm going to watch is Green Lantern First Flight.
oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, so I hope it's good. We will see.
So I want to let everyone know, instead of watching Wonder Woman, we watched Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2.
Oh my god.
It was set in the Challenge of the Super Friends kind of era, with the Hall of Justice. There's a ton of Easter eggs. It's really funny because it was made in 2023, and for it being a kids cartoon, children would have zero clue of any of the Easter eggs or anything that was even in it. But they did a really good job of making it enjoyable for kids, of course, but for us older fans, it was a lot of fun. Daphne went to camp with Jimmy Olsen. So in Jimmy Olsen's mind, that's his girlfriend. And the idea is, or the premise is, that the Justice League goes missing. And Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen are inside the Hall of Justice looking around, and a phantom makes them leave. And Jimmy's like, I know who can solve the mystery of where the Justice League went. So the Scooby Gang comes in the Mystery Machine, and when they drive into Metropolis, all these villains are attacking Metropolis. Solomon Grundy, Giganta, the 3 villains from the Superman movie, Zod, Ursa, and Nan. There's one other one in it. Oh, Joker and Harley Quinn.
So
and Harley
it's
is
everything.
in her. It's a bananas movie if you're watching it. It was so much. We just kept shouting out everything we saw. They reference Wendy and Marvin and Wonder Dog and the Wonder Twins. You gotta watch it. You really gotta watch it. It's fun.
I think I might have to sit down and watch it. I keep
It's
seeing
not that long.
Yeah, most of them are really not that long, and I've been seeing pictures of it, and I was just like, okay, that looks really, really fun.
It is,
but I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I get kind of scared because some of the kitty stuff I'm kind of like, but it can be kind of cringy. But if it's superheroes and it's during the challenge of the Super Friends, I might have to take a look.
And my Hawkman shows up. I love Hawkman. I loved him in the whole Super Friends, all of those eras. Whenever he showed up, I loved him. He was my to-go-to hero.
Okay.
So,
well, welcome in, Luis, as well, and Kenneth. Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah, hey everyone.
We're just talking about Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2 that Rich seemed to have loved.
Yeah,
so.
I watched Wonder Woman and I didn't have a high opinion of it that I remember. And we were like, do I want to sit through something again, or let's watch this? So we watched.
I'm glad you did, because now I have someone who's actually watched it, and now I can actually be like, okay, for the most part, I trust your judgment.
I'm glad.
So, all right. With that, we are on to new comics of the week. We have
number ones.
Yeah, number ones. We have a bunch of them. So for the most part, exactly. Some of them are interesting, and some of them are kind of like, really? So, and
really?
the first one that's up is Power Pack Into the Storm, and that was one of my really.
So the writer was Louise Simonson. The artist is June Brigman, the original creators from way back in the day.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes, the inker was Roy Richardson. The color artist was Nolan Woodard. And the letterer was VC's Travis Lanham.
I got this cover.
That's a nice cover.
Yeah, I get the cute cover because they're kitties, and it's like they look kind of. I mean, they're adorable. They're adorable, and given you never know where the hell anything takes place with Power Pack nowadays. Seriously, in some comics they're full-grown adults. In other comics they're teen angsty, and even other comics still they're kids like this one. So
yeah.
I really have no idea what to expect whenever I read a Power Pack comic. And okay, so I got done reading it, and because of the writing and because of the art, like it has that classic sort of 90s Marvel art, and you know what I'm talking about.
I do, yeah.
If you ever read some of the 90s art, before Jim Lee and all those people kind of like changed the foundation, art was very different. And I was reading this, and I literally got to the end, and I was looking at the credits because I was like, is this a reprint? Is this something that I missed?
No.
Like, is this? It's completely new.
It's all new.
It reads like a 90s comic, and that's what's so crazy about it. Like, it reads and it looks like a 90s comic that I was just kind of like, wow, like the nostalgia bug is like hitting me hard. Like, it was biting the crap out of me. I was like, ow.
So
ow,
did you read Power Pack back
no,
in the day?
No,
you didn't?
I did not. The only Power Pack I ever read was the one that had Cloak and Dagger in it, because I loved Cloak and Dagger. And
really?
It was this weird, like, oh my God, we're homeless. We can't be homeless. We're cute little kids. And I was just like, it was just, no, I never read it. I had friends. I have a really close friend who absolutely adored Power Pack and collected all the issues. So I kind of read that for the review and for him. I can't wait to tell him about it.
Well, I read it. I read it because I loved him. Yeah. And the crossovers were crazy. Like they brought children, little kids into the Mutant Massacre.
Oh yeah, I read that one too because I was just like, "What the hell am I?" They were in Inferno too.
And it was crazy because was it famine? One of the horsemen like almost died, and I just remember Katie being like, "Oh my god, we gotta help her!" And I don't know, I loved it. And then when they all switched powers, like
Yeah,
it was a really weird time for in the Boogeyman. It was a weird time for comics. It
so
was.
you liked it, Steven, huh? Yeah, I think Rich liked it too. For me, I was very indifferent about the whole thing. Like the pony, like the pony kid and the weird lizard people, and I was like,
if you don't know anything about this, I can understand you being like, what?
Yeah.
So yes, that is very true.
Yeah,
The
Power Pack
experience
fueled therapy sessions for a lot of both real and fictional children.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it really would on a dime it would turn. So I just remember reading like every now and then I would get because they were like I think they were like 75 cents or something, and so every now and again I'd get a Power Pack comic and I'd read it. I had no idea what was going on, and it was just weird.
So I did not understand that this was. I thought it was just going to be a one shot.
Nope.
And I got to the end and I was like,
to be continued.
What? They're going to continue this? So you're probably not going to read the number 2.
I'm not going to read the number 2. Sorry.
I will definitely be reading this. I love Frank. I always love when Franklin had a sleepover with the family because something would always go wrong. He'd dream about something and then the adventure would start.
Yeah, and then it was like their parents were like, "Oh my god," and the kids were like, "It'd be great to have powers," and the mom was like, "No, I can't." And it was like these poor little sheltered children,
That was my only real complaint is, so they were the original like writer and artist, and
yeah,
June Brigman still after all these decades
still got it.
But the creepy eye factor, like the cover,
yeah,
Julie's eyes are kind of creepy.
It's a classic style. Like it is a classic style, and I mean, let's be frank. Children can be creepy.
Yes.
They can. They have those eyes, and you're like.
But I want to say, when you look at George Perez, may he rest in peace.
Yes.
He drew eyes, and you can see the color.
Yeah.
Phil Jimenez draws eyes, and you can see the color. There's a lot of artists that don't really focus on eyes. Ivan Reese. Yeah, so it's just funny, but there's just something about the way June Brigman draws eyes, and it's all these years later. So she still got it.
What did you think of the story? Were you okay with the story, or I didn't like. I don't know. Like again, I don't. All I know is for a long time that horse character was running around with them, and they went on, and they had to keep him a secret, and then they would fly off into space and do
with
space
Friday.
adventures.
Yeah.
So all I know is, and there's a princess, and they have to save her, and Franklin is having prophetic dreams about
the brood of all things. I love the brood.
So I'm just like, okay. But yeah, I thought it was a one shot. So you're gonna have to tell me how it goes, because there was nothing. Unfortunately, there was nothing nostalgic about it in order to pull me in, because I have no soft spot or rosy glasses for Power Pack. I just don't.
Well, speaking of nostalgic, our next book.
I had repressed the horse. I don't blame you.
That I got that cover. I love that cover.
Yeah. So we have Dungeons and Dragons Saturday morning special. So 100%, this comic was very hard to find. Like if you did not order it from your local comic book shop, a lot of people did not stock it. So if you like it, I suggest you go and order it from your local comic book shop. It's not Ninja Turtles type levels of fandom for it.
But
So
this is not their first
it is
mini
not.
adventure. No.
No, it's
And I've
not.
been reading all of them, and I'm
I
glad I
did
got
not.
you to read one.
I really see, and I wish you'd have told me. See, I wish you'd have told me that it was a continuing adventure from last year, because I
Yeah.
didn't realize that,
Yeah.
and so I was like, oh damn. So after reading this, I really want to read that graphic novel before I
Yeah.
read this, before I actually read any more of this one.
And to the experience, yes, I'm about to do the credits now. Written by David M. Booher,
Mhm.
art by George Cambadias. Again, we apologize for the butchering of the names. Letters by Ed Dukeshire. Colors John Paul Bove. And that B cover, the one that is up, is by the Essorza brothers. Maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
That's the
So
name.
is it Cambades.
Combo Days.
Cambades. Oh,
Combo
interesting.
Days. Yes. So, the nostalgic factor was high in this one. Oh,
I can't help you guys with the other names, but it's Cambadias.
Cambades.
Cambadias. Thank
Thank
you.
you. We really
It's
appreciate
the
it because
only multiple syllable name I can help you with ever.
we appreciate it because we're like, ooh. Yes, nostalgia factor was hitting hard, both as a longtime D&D fan, and I played it a lot when I was a kid. So I loved this cartoon when I was a kid. However, I didn't read the last iteration of it because I honestly thought it was just going to be like, I was being very cynical, a cynical old man. I was like, oh, it's not gonna be anything. It's just gonna be them, going in this unknown area, and it's just gonna be blah blah blah, But no, because this is actually okayed by like Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast and all that. They can actually use D&D locations and stuff. So I didn't realize that. So their adventures are taking place in the actual Faerun setting, which is crazy. So
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so like Waterdeep, Drizzle Doran's in this. So I was like, wait, what? So it's the Forgotten Realms. So I didn't realize that this takes place in the actual like
D&D world.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that. I thought it was just some undescript, because you never really saw that in the cartoon because they were trying to keep it all separate. But in this one, they are, and I was like, oh crap! Now I really want to go back and read that because they're actually adding in elements from the stories and the campaigns that I played. So yeah, I was very into it, and I thought it was great. Like a Spelljammer ship was there, which is a complete other play setting, and it's just, I was like, wow, what'd you think?
Well, I love them. I loved the last one. For me, I enjoy reading this because it continues the story that was never finished. They never ended the series properly.
Oh, really?
No, it's never been ended.
I didn't even realize that it was a continuation of the actual comic. Oh.
Well, no. I mean, for me,
the cartoon.
Of the cartoon, for me, it's just like watching new adventures by keeping that alive. And that is one of the things I really love about these Saturday morning adventures. There was also a really fun turtle one that they did as well.
Yeah, I've seen that, and that's like, if you're not keen on Ninja Turtles, like they're going all over the place in the main one, and then they have a Saturday morning one that is more aimed for kids, and they look like the classic Turtles.
Yeah.
So I will definitely be reading this one, and I definitely need to order. Hopefully, you can do that for me.
Oh, I can get it for you. Yeah.
Yeah, you can order me the.
A funny thing is, in the Avenger shows up at the very end of this.
Yeah.
Which I'm very excited to see. Very excited to see this.
Which makes me happy, because hopefully, for all you friends out there who maybe play D&D, maybe we'll be getting a Avenger stat block, and we can actually play him or have him in one of the campaigns. That would be amazing.
So did you watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie from last year?
Oh yeah, it was great.
And the kids showed up in it.
Yes. For a split second. I was very surprised. They didn't die in it, which was really great, which means they could actually continue on and do something with them.
Yeah.
You know, I would love for them to bring in a new cartoon. Again, see, the weird thing about that though, and I'll be very brief about this, is if they were to bring in a Dungeons and Dragons cartoon now, it would have to be contemporary art. Like, it can't be what they did with Thundercats. Like, it has to be like the second iteration of Thundercats when they brought it back. People like crapped on that, but I thought that version was really, really good. So hopefully we'll have a Saturday morning cartoons resurgence or
yeah, that would be nice.
So like if you know anybody in the industry, please, let's get a resurgence,
I love the gummy bears.
Bring back gummy bears in comic form. Funny you should say that. This past weekend, we were over at a friend's house, and we just sit around and talk. And they do, if you're on YouTube, which you are if you're watching, hopefully, thank you, or Instagram, there are they have collections of Saturday morning cartoons, and we put on an hour of it, and it was the openings of Saturday morning cartoons.
I love those. I watched fantastic. A ton of them.
Yeah, and so the Gummy Bears was one of them, and we're all talking about like who saw this and who remembers that, and so yes, if they brought back the Gummy Bears, although that is Disney, so if they brought back Gummy Bears, I would definitely watch it because they drink their gummy juice and they become like rubber and they can hop around on their butts. Fantastic show.
So the art in this, very stylized, very clean,
very animated looking.
Yeah.
One thing that did annoy me, which is actually kind of cool, although,
is JD,
the show has me bouncing here and there and everywhere. Oh Lord, welcome JD. Experience says, did you know John Williams, the film composer's son, who is also the lead singer of Toto,
I didn't know that.
I did know that he was the lead singer of Toto, but I did not know that he did the opening for Gummy Bears theme. See, folks, you learn things. You learn things. This is an educational show. We need that PBS money. But having said that, we do have to go to a commercial break.
Are you going to continue reading this?
Yes, that's what I told you.
Awesome.
You're going to order me. You're going to order me that graphic novel for the first one.
And then continue on.
And I will add this to my pull list, if you please, sir.
Awesome. All right, guys, it is time for our first break. Stay tuned because we have more number ones coming up.
Comic Collectibles is a pretty straightforward show. You got Rex here, he sells the comics, and you got Rockin' Robbie, he knows about the comics. And finally, John, well, no one really knows what John does. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, but he just keeps showing up. Come to think of it, I don't even really know how he gets in here. Anyway, awesome comics, rare books, rarer signatures, slabbed books, and amazing cover sketches by Ken Hazer and others. Simple formula, you want the comics, you buy the comics. To sum up, Rex sells the comics, Robbie knows the comics, and John, who might possibly be a ghost. I mean, seriously, has anyone ever seen him show up or leave? Comic Collectibles with Rex and John, Mondays from 6 to 8 Eastern on The Experience. Comic Culture and Sales. There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
According to a statistic that I just made up, people spend 4 hours a day changing the television channel. People who watch The Experience don't do that. Save yourself a ton of time by tuning into The Experience and enjoying our new original programming 7 days a week. And then tell your friends. Think about the money they could save on batteries in the remote alone just by tuning into The Experience. Find out more by scanning the QR code below.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You are watching the Geek Chat on the Experience. My God, our heads are so giant. Uh,
Well, it's full of comic book knowledge.
Thanks again for watching us on the Experience. Be sure to head to comicshoppingexperience.com to find out what's on, when. There's new stuff. Hello, Jabroni Chief. There are shows on every day, whether they are comic buying shows or entertainment shows like us. Be sure to head there and join the mailing list. And our Thursday lineup, just so you know, is the Dan Wickline Show at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 Pacific. What's in the Box with Miss Jen? She's on at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. The Geek Chat. The Geek Chat going forward. We are on at 5 o'clock. And then Sketch Up with Mog and Mel. They're on at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Tonight, besides great giveaways they're going to have, they have Thomas Doherty, Bill Moss, and daughter Cat Moss. So double the cats, or double the mouses. Mices? I don't know. Mosses. Yeah, and be sure to tell all your friends about the Geek Chat and all the other great shows that are on the Experience.
Comment, like, share, subscribe. We're all here, doing this for you guys and gals and persons in between. We want to grow a community here, and you're part of that community. So, like I said before, if you have a comment, you want to mention anything, please feel free to say it in the comments, and we'll most likely respond, hopefully with something intelligent, most probably something silly, but we will definitely we'll definitely encourage creative conversation.
Yes. So our first book up is yes.
Oh yeah, we're doing. Yeah, this weekend is the virtual convention, the Experience Expo. So check out their website starting tomorrow for the schedule. So yes, it's going to be fantastic. It starts on Saturday. So please check it out. A lot of really fantastic guests, a lot of really fantastic shows, and check.
And again, go to Comic Shopping Experience for all details.
All righty.
So this book was $5. It is that's a great cover.
Yeah.
It is almost like an ash can for back in the day. The
value
machine is a bunch of creatives, artist forward creatives that are working together to build a shared universe.
Well, I found out that it's not so much that it's shared as it is
creator owned.
It's creator owned, but there are some things that are in a shared universe, and then there are some that are their own comic universe and thing. But the thing is, they're all under the umbrella Ghost Machine. So think of it as the Energon universe that Robert Kirkman did. But this is just a much more. Think of it as like the Energon universe with Robert Kirkman and Image, like how Image was. So this is just a whole bunch of collectives, it's writers and artists, creating books. So only the first couple are included in the it's weird are included in that shared universe. That being so the Unnamed is the first portion. It's broken down into sections, and the creators that were contributing to this are Jason Fabuk, Gary Frank, Brian Hitch, Jeff Johns, Lamont McGee, Francis Manpaul, Brad Meltzer, Ivan Reese, Peter Steinberg, Peter J. Tomasi, and Maital Zakut. So these are all the people.
Brad Anderson was the colorist.
Yeah.
And Rob Lee was the letterer.
Yeah. What's great is it's funny because they're not saying like who's an artist and who's a writer. They're all creators, which I think is great. So if you don't know, there's the unnamed timeline, and the unnamed timeline consists of Geiger, which was created by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. Um, and Brad Anderson is the colorist. So if you have been reading Geiger before, again, Geiger has already been out for a while, and it is now they're getting ready to collect it, and then now it's going to be part of the shared universe. Red Coat by Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch, and colorist was Brian
Anderson.
And
Brad Anderson.
Sorry, Brad. Thank you, Brad Anderson.
We're on a show about reading.
I know it's horrible. And so basically that's the shared universe of that timeline. And they have a little timeline in the back that basically goes through and shows everything that has happened within that time, line, which is very interesting because honestly, I thought it was all together, but it is not. And this looks to be all of Jeff Johns' creation. The experience says it's a shared imprint at Image, like Skybound is Kirkman's imprint or Shadowline is Valentino's imprint. Exactly. Experience says it much better than I do. And then the next one is Exodus, which is a whole nother team of creators. You have Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok, who did the storytellers for that. Then you have Family Odysseys, which is kind of like, I don't want to say it's their kids line, but it is their kind of less.
It says family friendly.
Yeah, it's their family friendly stuff, and that's the Rocket Fellas by Peter J. Tomasi and Francis Manpaul, and they have Hornsby and Halo by Peter J. Tomasi and Peter Sinsberg, with colors by Bajarn Hinson, and then they have Hyde Street, which is by Jeff Johns and Lamont McGee and Ivan Rees. And Hyde Street is that's the story. And the last one is Devour, which is Matal Zakut and Ivan Rees, with Danny Miki inking both of them and Brad Anderson doing the colors. So yeah, it is a collective, and this is basically their menu. Yeah, for $4.99, it's a menu of all different types of ideas, all different flavors that you could possibly want to eat. And I like that. I really like that. What was your impression?
So one of the things I noticed, I really enjoyed the Who's Who pages.
Oh, you saw that, huh?
I loved them.
And I bet you anything, the Who's pages were definitely done by were inspired by definitely DC, and I think that basically came from Jeff Johns. I think Jeff Johns was the one that said, "Hey, let's do a Who's page."
Yeah, I sat down to read this. It's a heavy book.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the? It's $5. I'm like, okay, let's see. They gave you enough story in each one to really get you to want to buy it. Now, the only down part I don't enjoy is that the books start in April.
Yeah. Which
I don't know if, like, I get it. We ordered 2 months in advance. So the orders are already going in for March. And that way, this came out this week. Next month, they will release the solicits for April so that you will be able to go to your comic book store or where you buy comics and order them. I get it. But
yeah,
it's a little far in advance.
Yeah, new number ones as well. I really think that this should have came out probably. I mean, I guess they had to do this.
It makes sense. It makes sense for their numbers, because if I read this and you have the week and you have word of mouth, and then you can be like, oh, they're soliciting these books. Okay, I'm gonna tell my local comic book store I want this book. I get it, but it is weird that it came out in January.
Yeah. Which ones did you think were really the ones that you really kind of like rocked your boat?
Okay, so I absolutely cannot wait for Hyde Street. Ivan Rees, his art.
The art looks fantastic. What was it about? Was it about the weird stuff that's in the back of comic books?
I don't know.
I kind of got the feeling like, did you ever watch Did you ever watch the old? You probably didn't, but well, okay. Warehouse 13 was another one. The old Friday the 13th TV series, that was another
Yeah, I
one
remember that one.
where they had like weird dolls or weird things that
Yeah.
they had to go and capture and bring back. Is it one of those things?
Don't
Like,
know.
you know,
I don't
because
know.
it just seems like there's something going on.
At that little store.
Yeah, and so I'm like, huh. And
I don't know.
then
I also enjoyed Rook. I really enjoyed the Rook story. I like how they can communicate with animals through their helmets. The boar guy was hysterically funny. He smells. I love it. Like it
yeah,
was they gave me enough in the let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pages that made me go, oh, I want to read this.
it was weird though because I was reading that and it really read like a video game. Like I
Yeah.
could see them making a video game out of Rook, like the three person team, and the costumes and everything. So the experience says Warehouse 13 was amazing. I still have a crush on basically the entire cast of the show. Yeah, I need to go back and finish watching that. You know, I only watched a couple of episodes here and there, but I need to go back. The one that really stuck out for me was the Rocket Fellas. I thought that was really fun.
Now, did you enjoy the story or did you just love it because I know you love Francis Manipul?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting. In the future, they have a temporal witness protection program. So basically, instead of like you just like changing your identity, they literally put you in a whole new time frame. So the fact that they have futuristic gadgets, yet they're back in the past, and yet people are coming to get them, and they have to be on edge. Liked it. I thought the family looked great.
I love how grandma stayed in the future, and now it's just an AI head. Like the ideas, some of the ideas in this, I'm really excited to explore.
Yeah, and Tamazi, I am a huge fan of his work. So when I saw that was him, I was like, huh. The one that kind of was a little was the Hornsby and Halo. Like,
yeah,
I've seen stuff like that before. It screamed Mr. Miracle and Orion. You know, it kind of screamed that. And I really hope that it's going to be a little bit different than that.
Well, come April, we are going to be reviewing all the number ones. Yeah, you're not going to have to worry about that. I would say if you are looking for something new that isn't Marvel DC, that it's a wide genre.
Yeah.
You have science fiction, kids, horror, some superhero, Geiger having powers.
I think Geiger and the Immortal, the Red Coat. I do think that you're going to get. I think there's enough for everyone. I do think that there was not any one standout character that really, unless Geiger is the standout character, because that's Jeff Johns' kind of like flagship character. But I didn't read the first book of Geiger.
I have to get it and read it now. And also
Junkyard Joe. I have the first one, you know, and I read it and I was like, okay, it kind of reminded me of the Unknown Commando.
Yes.
So that's why I was kind of like, all right, I kind of get it, you know. And then
did you notice
Atomic Robo was the other one? It kind of reminded me of it too. So
did you notice in the Rockefellers when they went to the movie was Junkyard Joe?
Yeah.
And some kids were reading the comic book of
the Rockefellers, and so it's great that they all reference each other, and that makes me again, it's not a shared universe. So some of them are, some of them aren't. But I'm definitely here to see what they're going to do. And I do wish them all luck. I wondering, please let us know in the comments which one you think is going to get the first one's going to get like a TV or movie or development deal. Like, I think Jeff Johns is probably going to push Geiger because that's probably his baby. But I do believe that the Rockefellers have the ability to be.
I could see that as a cartoon.
Either a cartoon or a TV series, because I think it just has just enough future tech that the budget won't be super crazy, and you can get some really good actors in there. And people always love a good family show. Although the name will probably have to change because that name is kind of crazy.
Doesn't roll off your tongue.
No, the Rockefellers. I kept calling them the Rockefellers, but I'm like, no, it's the Rockefellers, and I'm like, Rockefellers. So yeah, it's a little much, but. All right, next up.
Beyond Real from Vault Comics.
Yeah. So this one came out last week, and you wanted to talk about it because Vault does this initiative. Why don't you tell us about the initiative that Vault does, which I think
So-
is really kind of cool, actually.
They did this with the I just blanked on the name of the book. Unnatural Order from Vault, which was written by Kyle Yost. Was he the writer, I believe?
I think so. I don't have it next to me, unfortunately.
So they ended up they had a thing with retailers that we could order it for free and give them out. Some stores charged, whatever. Some charged for the number 2 so that they captured the sale on the number 2. Because a lot of people buy the number 1s because it's a number 1, but the number 2s usually crash.
Yeah.
So a lot of retailers were playing with that. But we got them, and I was like, hey, okay, let's try it. Gave it to Dez. I was like, okay, wasn't looking forward to this book. The back tells you what it's about, and I thought, oh god, this is going to be dumb, and it actually wasn't. It was a pretty good book, and the art was very, very, very interesting. It was. Let's get the credits out of the way, though. So it was the writer is Zach Kaplan, Fabiana Mascolo, and Tony Fezula were the artists. Jordi Belair and Tony Fezula were the colorists. Oh boy. Hassan Oatsmain El Haou. Oatsmain Halau, something like that. I'm very sorry, Mr. Hassan, or Mrs. or ma'am. I don't know. That was the letterer. So, yeah. What did you think of it before I start? Oh god, I got the tongues. The.
It was interesting. All I could say it was interesting. It is a premise that is very in vogue right now, and it is a so it's hard to say because you either have an action version of the simulation and you have to fight out of it, or you have, people coming to grips with it, but this person, understanding and then trying to connect with the programmer to see what's going on. That's kind of an interesting play with the narrative, and a play with that kind of what's it called? Play with that kind of topic. I don't know if it has legs. The reason being because once they've made contact, or once there's been a resolution, what happens after that? But I don't know. It was a very it was weird.
Wow, it left you speechless
because it's very hard to categorize.
So the gist of the book is
it's very hard to categorize.
This girl
it's
and
sci-fi,
guy
but it's
get hit by a truck.
Yeah,
he got brain damage. She wakes up and has superpowers.
Yeah,
and she can move things. She can see through things. She can change things. And the idea is that we are all in some kind of computer simulation.
Yeah,
life is not real. We don't plan anything out. And she, after getting in this accident, can see things other people can't.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting in her therapy session, she picks a chair up with her mind and throws it. And all they say is, why did you, are you that angry you threw that chair? And I'm like, no one saw the chair float. Like, is this in her mind? That is how I thought, because they asked, why did you toss the chair? And if this is all in her mind, how is she running? I don't know. It left me with more questions.
That's what I mean. It's like
answers.
very hard to quantify what's going on, because is she crazy? Is she not? Is it real? Is it not? And it's all kind of in vogue stuff right now, because whenever you dabble with the unknown, like that, and especially with something as provocative as, like, oh, we're on the simulation and all that stuff like that, there's a lot of different stuff that you can do that you can play with the reader's mind about it. And I think the artwork did a good job of that as well.
Oh God, yeah. The artwork, I gotta be honest, the artwork was pretty damn good, because the when she was confronting the program and the page kind of they played with negative space a lot at the end, and where this computer valley, like the whole spread of the inside of a computer was I don't know, it was the story and the art made me actually want to read the number 2,
which is a good
just
thing,
to find out
what's
going on. So
I don't think it's going to be one of those books that is on the shelf forever. Like, sorry, like I think it's going to have like an arc, and then it's going to end, and then we'll go to someplace else. Like, again, I don't know how much they can put in, but I'm interested to, see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to pick up the number 2 yet, but yeah, I'm still on the fence for it.
I'll read it. I'll read it. So our last book for this segment is our Gang War. Thank you, Marvel, for giving us one book. And it is Spider-Woman by Steve Fox, the writer, Carola Borelli, the artist, Arif Prianto, the colorist, VC's Joe Sabino did the lettering, and that cover was Lionel Francis Yu and Sunny Go. And then a bunch of variant covers, as Marvel does.
You're going to hate me.
What?
But I'm enjoying the hell out of this comic. Like, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so much that I don't know why, but I was like, I got to get some more of my girl superheroes. So I went and I bought She-Hulk #1.
Oh, I'm loving the She-Hulk run.
So I want to read it. You know why? Because Patsy Walker's in it, and I want to read about Patsy Walker. So I said, let's see what Patsy's doing.
Okay, so I have one complaint, and we talked about it. We talked about it on the number 2. She's falling and falling and falling and has no wing gliders, yet somehow at the end of the book, her wing gliders are back. And I think they did it. This is poor writing on Steve Fox's part, if this is true. If they needed to introduce, what is her name? Madam Web. If they needed, the reason for Madam Web to be there is to save Jessica, I call BS.
Yes.
I call BS.
Yes.
She could have saved herself, and it could have been that Julia was like, I saw you falling, but I knew you'd save yourself. Let me help you. Instead, we get a really cool save that was unnecessary. That bugged the F out of me.
You know what?
Bad writing.
Yes.
Bad writing.
Yes. Okay. I will give you that. I will definitely give you that. It could have been tailored better for them meeting each other.
Yes.
She
has glided when she didn't have her powers, and she was with the X-Men in San Francisco. She still glided.
Yeah. She was gliding around. She was gliding in one of the issues, one of the first issues.
Yes, I had a problem with that.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to wear the wing glider costume. Stupid me.
Or something.
But anyhow,
I enjoyed it. I thought the reveal at the end was great. I have no idea how they're gonna what they're gonna do with that.
I hope they kill him.
What? That's her son.
I don't care.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I don't think that's her son. I think it's a clone of her son that they aged up, and they have been experimenting with her son to create Hydra soldiers, and then this is what's going to lead the book after it no longer has the gang war tag on it. And I hope that this gang war tag has number one, got more people's eyes on it. That way people will buy it more and then get hooked into the story, the secondary story that's being told, enough to continue it for a couple of more issues. I mean, that's why it has the Gangland title on it. They only mentioned the Gangland stuff maybe a couple times. Granted, she is fighting one of the kingpins, but even then, that's not really what this is about. This is about her finding her son. So again, I do hope that it has enough staying power to at least get You know,
2 arcs?
what was that 2 arcs? Yeah,
To get 2 arcs out of
yeah,
it?
at least 2 years, because I think that's the standard for comic books now. You get about 2 years, and then you get a new number one, unless you're like the X-Men. But
So
we'll
the-
talk about them next.
The thing I really don't like is when basically DC broke the whole way comic books have been run for decades with numbers. I miss looking at the numbers every month. There's no more numbers. There's no more
No.
how much things sold, because I remember us going and doing shows and being like, well, this only sold 8,000 copies. It's going to be canceled soon. And sure enough, it gets canceled.
Yeah,
But once DC left Diamond, Marvel left Diamond, no one shares their numbers anymore.
nope.
And I have no clue how many copies is sold. And I miss being a numbers guy when it comes to comic books. I miss that.
Yeah,
So we don't know how this Gang War Spider-Woman is doing, if it even will go past. When solicits come out next week for Marvel, we'll see if the Spider-Woman is there. And I'm really hoping that she is.
I do too. You know, I really hope that she's there. More so than I hope for Captain Marvel, but that's a whole separate story. So, having said that, you know what time it is. It's time for us to take another break. So stay tuned, and we will be back shortly after
We will be
these
back.
messages.
Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
By this time in our journey, we had been on the trail of a very elusive creature for about 96 hours. But all the hard work is about to pay off. Oh, crikey, there she is. Oh, by the markings, I'd say this one's at least a 9.8. Oh, she's a real beauty. A true mint copy. Oh, this one would make a fine slab on anyone's display wall. Oh, she's a feisty one, though. Look out, look out!
Mint Hunter Comics is the place to find that mint comic you've been searching for. Mint Hunter Comics, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, part of the experience.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You are watching the Geek Chat on the Experience. Next up, we are going to be reviewing The Resurrection of Magneto, but I'm right here, so I wish.
Well, we didn't get that much Magneto in this first issue.
We did not,
so
but
this was literally a Storm issue.
it was Storm, the
full
resurrection of
on.
Magneto by Storm.
Yeah. So nice accoutrement. It's nice. So who is this by the way?
I don't know. I can't put my glasses on, so you'll have to read it.
I'm not gonna read it. You read it. I want to see Magneto with his eyewear on.
Okay.
Beard Nito, exactly.
Beard Nito.
Makes sense.
All right. Al Ewing was the writer. Luciano Vecchio. Oh my God, I love his art. I'm so happy he did
I
this.
hate to say it, it was pretty good.
Oh my God. David
No, I hate to say it, it was
Curiel,
great.
color artist. VC's Joe Sabino was the letterer. And Tom Muller and Jay Bowen did the design. Yes.
Richito?
Richito.
Beardito? Beardito?
Beardito. So,
so
you want me to take this off? Is it too distracting?
No, it's not. I think it's great. It's just this comic. So this was the comic we were waiting for. This was the comic that people, and I feel bad.
Why?
I feel bad for people who read Defenders and are not X-Men fan, because this comic basically picks up and is a continuation of what happened with Al Ewing's Defenders, when they talk about the Enigma and they talk about the Dominion and all this stuff. And you really needed this comic in order to understand the larger picture of what the Dominion and the Enigma is. And I think that's oh my God, I can read your mind again finally. That's, and I think that's what you needed, which was really kind of weird.
Do you want me to order you a copy?
Oh no, I'll get it. It's just
okay.
I'll get it. It's just a really good summary of this book is done by Comics Explained. So if you are a fan of Comic Explained, Rob does a really good summary of what happens in this book. If you want, he really goes into how it connects to Al Ewing and all this stuff. He gives a lot of good background. It's a really good listen if you want to check it out. But you really need to, if you're at all interested in what's going on, and you're not following, and you're just following Powers and House, the main ones, you're really missing out. I was not expecting this book to be as connected to what's going on in those two books as it is now, and I'm happy about it. Like, this is one of those books that you think that you actually like, wow, you have to read this. This is a must read book for what's going on. And given that they're giving Magneto this treatment, means that he is going to be something massive in the upcoming battle with the Enigma.
Yeah.
With Orcus and the Enigma and all that other stuff.
So real quick, I just want to say the experience is on the road to 2,500 subscribers. And we really want to hit that number. So if you can share with friends, tell them about the experience, get them to like the YouTube channel. There's going to be giveaways and new content waiting to drop. So just as a little, inside, help us out on the experience. Let your friends know about us.
Please do.
And now back to this.
So what were your thoughts?
So, as a fan of Magneto for very, very, even when he was a bad guy, I still always liked him. And going through Storm's connections with him, a lot of times they weren't, it was in the earlier years where they fought, of course, but their relationship changed when he took over as headmaster. Remember, they were gone. Every time she's around, he's not. That's kind of the way their history has been. But then once X-Men Red started in the Krakoan era, they became strong allies.
Correct. Really, really strong mutual respect for each other.
And we talked about it on the last episode about why they gave up their coming back. Why they stopped, they deleted all their, what do they call them?
Genetic memories or code or whatever. So the 5 couldn't
Coding.
bring them back.
So the fact that she is going to get him because of that dream, I was just like, okay. I'll be real honest. I'm a visual person. Story usually comes second to me. I am big on the reason why I read comic books is for the art. It is a visual medium. And to me, an artist can make or break a book. And I have followed this artist for the last couple of years. Anytime he does a cover, a variant cover, I buy it. So the fact that he is given this book was huge. And the pages are gorgeous. The coloring
they are.
on the inking, everything about this book was beautiful. I also love how they used a lot of the tarot cards in this book. The Tower, the 5 of Cups, the Hanging Man. So a lot of this, even if you take out the sci-fi Dominion, and I really liked Blue Marvel being in the book. I thought that's pretty cool. I like how his daughter was like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Calm down. She's a good person." The idea that she meets her ancestor.
Yep. Which I thought was amazing. Like, way to call back. I was
That
like, yes.
is at least 40 years old.
Yep.
At least. Tarn being in it and his final form was crazy. There was so much about this book, and we want to talk about books. This was a $5.99 book.
And
it
didn't feel like it.
You didn't?
No. I'm saying it didn't feel like it. Like, sometimes you buy a $5.99 book and you're like, oh, why did I spend that much money on this, or blah 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 blah.
No, this
felt like it deserved that.
Yes.
Like, I felt justified in spending the $5.99.
And there was no backup story, there was no reprints. From start to finish, you got the beginning of the resurrection. And I thought it was interesting she's following the same path he did. And they're both strong. So I can't wait to read number 2.
Yeah. So a couple of things I wanted to ask your opinion. What was your opinion on when they were talking about the other mutants? Like, where are the other mutants? Where are they? What road did they follow?
Yes.
I think they're talking about the ones that's following Exodus.
In the White Hot Room.
I think that was a reference to them.
Yes.
So I was like, that's really cool. Meaning they're gone and they have to bring them back. So I think all those folks are going to be coming back. The second thing was the description of the Phalanx and who they are, and even the Phalanx fears the Enigma or that portion of it is not fully them. It's like a separate entity that has corrupted the Phalanx even so. So I thought that was really kind of cool. It's giving more life to what that is and who the Phalanx are as a multi-dimensional threat.
Right, because we've known about them for years, decades in our world. And we've not seen their final, I don't want to say form. They've always been a threat. They've always taken over worlds,
But now we know why, and we know what the ultimate thing is. Like, they literally consume they consume universes until there's nothing left.
And I like that they brought them into it.
Yeah,
because remember in Uncanny Spider-Man, Warlock came back, and the Vulture was using his body, the tech from the Phalanx, in his own. Was that your cat?
Yeah, she's I don't know. She's been meowing all day. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's really interesting that they're focusing back on that. And we also remember last week talking about Sync and M in the Phalanx Covenant.
Yeah.
So I just like that everything is coming full circle.
Yeah. And
If you've been reading X-Men.
And then the crowns at their feet. Probably I think we're gonna have a lot of histories that we're gonna be going through. And then like the shore that they're at and everything, and her saying that he is in a hell of his own making.
Right.
I wonder what it's going to be. Like, I really believe that we're going to have some skips back to like his childhood. We're going to get to know a little bit more about Magneto.
Well, the history was strong in this because they did go through certain pasts.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I really liked when you saw all the versions of Storm,
and how and the times in which she had she had interacted with him beforehand.
Well, then her through the timeline when she was first the Wind Rider, and then her original costume, and then the Punk, and then the Jim Lee X-Men 97.
Yep.
And then I thought it was interesting they put her the designed costume in just the black with the gold from Red. Mm-hmm. So they acknowledged Red, and then her new costume.
Yeah.
I just for a Magneto book, being a Storm heavy, you actually got a lot.
But I think you needed this. You needed this. You needed to explain why someone is going to literally risk their lives
mm-hmm.
and then jump into a void, to save someone, and you needed this. You needed to, not that you needed to justify it, but this is a good place for readers to kind of like acknowledge, yes, they have a shared history of violence, camaraderie, and strong respect, and it just solidifies Storm as being like the badass that she is, that she's like, look, I need this. We need to do this. We need to make this happen. So I'm really excited for where this book is going to go.
I gotta say also, this is the first. So like we've been reading all the other X books, and it seems like the second class all seem to be heading. Well, the first class actually as well. The first and second class both are not being treated so kindly in any of the X books. And now we have Storm risking her life, completely taken out of any other book that's on the stand.
Yep.
So this is her story.
Yep.
Yeah, one more time, Luciano Vecchio, follow him on Twitter. Amazing artist. I cannot wait. I really want to interview him on the Geek Chat. I really do.
Hopefully we can make that happen. I
love his art, and the fact that he got a book, he got an X book. And I think if I was, a fledgling artist, which I'm not, loving the X-Men so long, that would be what I would love to pencil an X book. Yeah. Speaking of X books, are we done with that?
Oh, thank you for posting.
Instagram. Yes.
I really appreciate that.
So next up is
we're gonna do 2 back-to-backs. It's the X-Force 47 and 48. We're gonna talk about 47 first. I know we alluded to this at the beginning of the show, and I have to tell you, this one right here, this is the one that I got. I got this crazy one with the fastball special.
Really crazy cover.
It was a very crazy cover. So I'm glad that you told me to read these. I don't want to say that I'm begrudgingly thanking you, but the thing about some X books is some hit different than others. And I tried for a very hard time to get into this one, and I just couldn't. And then I'm glad that I finally got into this one, because I don't know, where the story is going right now and the characters that they're following, I'm really interested in. So this was by Benjamin Percy. They were the writer. Daniel Picotto was the artist. Guru's EFX was the color. Guru EFX was the color artist, and VC's Joe Caramanga is the letterer, and Tom Mueller and Jay Bowen were the designers.
And then for 48, the only difference is the artist is Robert Gill.
Yeah.
Everything else is the same.
Yeah, and then this was the so this was Haichem Habchi. And
that was the variant you got?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you haven't been keeping up on X-Force...
Sorry, this is Tracy Tuber. Sorry, Tracy Tuber did this one. Yeah, he's yeah.
If you haven't been keeping up on any of the X-Force's books, Beast has gone completely crackers, lost his mind, and
I don't think he's lost his mind.
Well, now they're out to get him. And in 47, we pick up with Wolverine. Wolverine, in his own book, was meeting up with different heroes: Black Panther, Spider-Man, Moon Knight. Was it Moon Knight? I think it was Moon Knight. And well, he's trying to get back at Orcus for what Orcus did. And his idea is to steal one of their jets and go into space and attack them from within. It doesn't go well. He gets Spider-Man to do this with him, by the way. They come back to Earth, and Wolverine's going full force against some Sentinels, Iron Man Sentinels, thinking he's going to die, and then Sage and the group pick up, and it picks up from Wolverine, it picks up right into X-Force 47, and they decide to head to, is it Antarctica, the Arctic Circle, the North
Arctic
Pole,
yeah,
and build a giant greenhouse as their base so that they can get mutants that need help to come for safety.
Yeah, it's like a miniature Krakoa.
Yeah,
that's what they call the greenhouse. It's like this miniature Krakoa, and Black Tom is sort of like, I don't want to say he's the nexus, but he's one of the ones that's keeping it going because he uses this plant-based power that he has in order to do that. And to tell you the God's honest truth, I am so happy to see Black Tom.
I was just about to say that. I am going to be so sad when this age is over and they just toss him back into the has-been pile.
I hope they don't.
He has been an integral part of X-Force the entire time.
See, and that's the one thing I'm sad about too. Is like I really hope that they're able to keep some of these characters out.
The same as Sage. I love Sage, and I'm glad that they're giving her a character arc, being the alcoholic, and then how she's trying to get over that. And this book, X-Force, has been the place for character arcs.
But the thing that, real quick, I'm going to challenge that only because the last arc with his brother, Peter's brother, I did not like that arc, and I could not get into that. But for whatever reason, this one, with what they're doing with Beast and the ramifications of that's an interesting story for me. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really liked 48. Like, I really liked 48 because, you can't trust the mutie, I guess, because they have clones of everybody everywhere.
Correct.
So
yeah, Black Tom is still called Black Tom. Hickman.
Experience says, I'm shocked that Black Tom is still considered that. He feels like a character that Hickman would reorigin and rename. No, I'm here for Black Tom with his weird Scottish accent, and roguish charm. I'm here for Black Tom.
So real quick, do you remember in Generation X when he turned into the all wood and he was the plant man? Was it? Oh, wait, no, it was, who's that writer that everyone hates? He made Angel and Husk do it in the air.
Oh, you're talking about Chuck
What is his
Austin.
name? Chuck Austin. I think it was Chuck Austin that turned him into a man of wood, like this wood man.
Yeah, he was, something was happening and he was dying, and so he was like half wood, half man, or some weird.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. Horrible. It was horrible.
Okay, but back to 47 and 48. I just want to say that it's funny that the events in Wolverine with the Sabretooth Wolverine War have not made their way into X-Force yet.
Not yet.
Two of the characters are completely dead.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that.
Tommy Tree Man.
Tommy or something. No.
No.
Experience says, I'm not saying Hickman would be right, but that's like his vibe to be like Black Tom is Tommy Treeman or something. Well, if it made him Treeman, that'd be kind of cool. The Treeman with that weird Scottish accent.
So in 48,
see, 48 is when it got good for me because 48, because so basically the main thing that happens in 47 is Quentin Quire, starts feeling something for Phoebe, and so he goes basically to Krakoa and saves her and brings her back. That's the main thing, the main crux of this. And I thought that's okay, that's cool. But it was weird though, because I know that he's dead, but I'm like, okay, maybe this is before then.
It had to be before it.
I'm assuming. But then 48, we get Beast coming in with a tactical rifle in order to get a seed from Krakoa. That way he can build a little bunker and wait it all out. It looks like Beast is just going to wait it all out somewhere, and they're like, oh hell no. So they have a cloned Beast.
Sage comes up with the idea to let's clone him.
No. He already has a clone.
Beast.
Yeah, she stole another,
right?
Because Beast had made all these clones. If you weren't listening to X-Force or reading X-Force, he had a clone of Beasts, and then he had a clone of Wolverines,
right?
And he was doing all this really crazy unethical stuff. And people thought that he was Dark Beast, but he's not. I really believe that this is Hank McCoy, original Beast. This is not Dark Beast, and I think the reason why they're doing that is because the new Beast has not the new cloned Beast is going to take over for this Beast that has been corrupted. And so I think what's going to happen, because the clone Beast reads everything that Hank has done and then goes after Hank.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's funny and it's sad, but the Council of Beasts that the original Beast made were becoming too sentient and too thought. So he basically killed them all. So Hank McCoy has just gone you thought that Hank Pym's descent into madness was crazy. It's nothing compared. See, the mutants got to outdo everybody. Seriously, they're like, Beast is like, hold my purse, watch me go crazy. And I was just like,
that cover is gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Talk about comic books trying to get your eye to buy me, because the whole idea of a comic book is buy me. And then seeing this cover, oh my god!
I thought Robert Gill's art in 48 was fantastic.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was. About it, but it was great.
And his Beast was like he should be, a giant hulking blue kind of monkey, kind of.
Yeah, he bought Beast stole a battle suit or something, a Krakoan battle suit, and was telling everybody, try to stay alive. Bye.
I'm out. So it's funny. Yes, the experience says being named Hank. Yes, I think it does drive you insane.
Oh my god, I didn't even get that. It's like the Martha syndrome. Martha, why did you say that name? It's Hank. I gotta go crazy. It's like.
So you are going to continue this run of X-Force?
I'm definitely going to continue. Although I think it's going to be over at 50. Mark my words.
I do too.
So I think everything is going to end at 50. They're going to collect everything up, and then we are picnicking in on the school grounds of Westchester. Telling you, come October, we are in Westchester. He keeps ignoring me because he refuses to believe that.
No, I dropped my notes.
Your notes? You have notes?
I have notes. So everyone, be sure to tune into the experience tonight at 7 o'clock 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern for Sketch Up with Mog and Mel. Their guests are going to be Thomas Doherty, Bill Moss, and Kat Moss. And they're going to have some great giveaways. Be sure to follow the Geek Chat on Facebook. Be sure to follow the experience on all the social media channels.
And also this weekend, please check out the virtual convention that the experience is putting on, the Experience Expo. You can please check out their website starting tomorrow for that schedule.
And that's comicshoppingexperience.com.
Yep. Also, we're trying to get to 2,500 subscribers. So please share this with a friend. Let them know. tell your dog, especially if they have an account. I know some of you people do have accounts for your pets. Huge giveaways and new content waiting to drop when they hit. So please let the folks know what's going on.
Yeah.
So
next week we get Dead X-Men.
Yes, the Dead X-Men. I don't know how that's gonna happen. You know, are they in the afterlife?
Do you want me to tell you?
No, don't tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, don't tell me because I want to know.
Okay.
I want to read it. Because no. And then for the DC movie, again, it is Green Lantern First Flight. I hope it is just as good as the other ones.
Watch it and talk about it with us.
I definitely will. And again, thanks everyone. I love comics. I love comics. I really do. As someone who's been reading comics for a very long time, I like it.
I do too.
So
I don't understand who Slurpner is.
Slurpner?
I don't know. I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, you were out of control. Okay.
I still don't know who it is.
Okay, so Experience says, I'm thinking of pitching a new... Odin's Horse.
Odin's Horse.
Animal Team Lead. X-Horses.
Oh, can we just talk about real quick before we leave? We posted in the Geek Chat the upcoming Roxxon Thor crossover event book. And your comment was Greg Land? What does Greg Land have on anyone at Marvel?
Stop that. People like Greg Land. It's okay. You can like that, you know.
Can you? Why?
I'm only laughing because it's like, you know.
All right, everyone.
Because it's funny. So
it is.
Thank you, everyone, so much for taking the time. We hope to see you next week. Same experience time, same experience channel. And hope to see you this weekend at the Experience Expo. Bye.
Bye.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.